I had help from the creative writing class. These are students from the creative writing class looking through the submissions, selecting which ones are good enough to be in the anthology, which ones fit the theme exactly. And here's the poster I hung up around school advertising the Every Life Has a Voice anthology. Got a couple more pictures here. Here's my sorting through. I had an approved, maybe, and no. I sorted through finally, and I ended up doing the final editing and putting all this together on the computer, and I published it online with an online publisher. The connection I made between my product and my project was that writing is really all about the writer. And I was trying to exemplify this with a whole bunch of different students writing that was just about them, or something that was significant to them. And it was really where I was going with this anthology idea. And I got a lot of pieces from many different students, 9th graders, 10th graders, 12th graders especially, a few 11th graders, but mostly 9th and 12th graders. And they really had a lot of different experiences, a lot of different lives, and you could see that when you read the anthology. You see all these different people and all their different pieces of writing, their different styles of writing, their different methods, their different experiences that they write about, and it's really a neat thing. For my stretch, well, I moved here in the beginning of November. So I was pretty much thrown into this whole senior project thing. And I had to quickly figure out what I was doing and come up with something. And so time was an issue. I was already a couple months behind. Organization, I have a lot of problems with organization. I'm a terrible procrastinator. Very, very bad. I ended up putting a lot of stuff off to the last minute, but I did get it done, as you can see. I have all of my stuff done. I'm here tonight. I was ready to quit at the end because I just didn't want to do it at all, and there were some people who helped me pull through. And just the undertaking itself, I've never really done a project of this magnitude before. It's just huge, something, it's hard to explain just how much stuff you have to do and think about and research and all this stuff, and it's a lot of work. In conclusion, I hope that next time you look at a piece of writing, even a professional writer, Edgar Allan Poe, Wordsworth, or Dr. Seuss, try and picture the writer when you're reading it. Look at the little nuances, the little words here. Ask yourself, why did they use this word? Why did they use this phrase? Why did they write this way? And maybe you'll get a glimpse of the writer himself or herself next time you read something. I'll take your questions now, if you don't mind.
Was it hard to tell your fellow peers that poetry wasn't good enough to be in an anthology?
I didn't tell them, actually.
How did you work that?
Well, I didn't tell anyone whether they were really accepted or denied, and I really didn't deny many pieces at all. There were a lot of good pieces that were submitted. I ended up rejecting very few. I think I got probably a little over 60 submissions, and just over 50 actually went into the anthology. So there was just ones that didn't really fit the theme or were just poorly written.
Did it feel bad doing that?
Kind of. I really had to lower my standards a little bit. I'm a little bit of an elitist when it comes to poetry because I'm used to reading, Shakespeare and Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm used to writing in that sort of formal style and writing well, and I kind of have to dumb down my expectations a little.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Will the book maybe be in our library or something?
I believe Miss Hatton will probably buy a copy. I might give her one too. It will be for sale though. Miss Doherty will have them for sale for $10.
Okay. And my other question is, you do a lot of about poetry being personal. In this process, did you read some things that you maybe thought were about something else? I know, if I go and read someone's Living Lake and stuff like that, different things, I think about something and then I'll read what they meant for it to be about.
And there's always going to be a difference between what somebody means to convey and what the reader interprets. Because you have two different people with two different worlds, essentially, trying to interpret the same poem. And what the writer writes and what the reader interprets will never be the same. Ever. Unless you are the writer. And even then, like, I'll go back and look at poems I wrote a few months ago, and I'll see something completely different than what I did when I wrote it originally.
I have a comment to make. I feel like since you've come to the school, I'm just really impressed with what you've put together. And I just feel like you have a passion for poetry, and I think you'd be a great teacher.
Actually, I'm planning to go into teaching, to be an English teacher.
Wow. That answered one of my questions. You had 60 submissions. Did you have to push to get that, or did people really just submit on their own? And the second thing is, had you considered maybe a poetry reading for those who are willing, for family of people that were involved?
I'm not sure about the second one. I'll have to look into that. This was originally